Lauren Dad, and today I'm going to tell you about a story of my encounter with a dangerous driver. So it was a very nice day out. It was very sunny in Michigan, which is unlikely, but it was summertime. And I was 7 at the time, and my best friend was 8 years old. My oldest sister, who was 17, was babysitting us for the day because our moms had things to do that day. So me, Rachel, my best friend, and her little sister Libby were outside because we decided we were going to play in the yard. And Rachel thought it would be fun to play with her new golf clubs that her grandpa had just bought her. And I was like, okay, but I didn't know that she was not supposed to be using them without her grandpa or her dad. So we went out there, she puts her tee in the ground, puts the golf ball right on top, brings the driver back as far as she can, and swings as hard as she can. Of course, she misses the ball because it's the first time she ever swung a golf club, but manages to hit me straight in the head. So I spun around, fell back right on my head. I was just upside down. The next thing I remember, I opened my eyes and I have these two people standing over me and they're very blurry. And I'm looking up at them and they both look at me and they're like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "I think so." So I got up. I wasn't really feeling anything. I just felt a little dizzy. They brought me inside to see my sister and Rachel told her what happened. And my sister, she's like, "Okay, well, let me look at it." So I go over to her. She says to me with the widest eyes I've ever seen on my sister's face, "It's just a little cut." I'm like, "Oh, great. It's like horrible. I'm going to die." So we go upstairs. She puts me in the shower. She turns the water on. She's like, "Now don't open your eyes." Well, I'm 7 years old. I'm very curious, and I think I'm going to die. So I open my eyes, and I see gushing blood everywhere. I'm like, "Oh, great. It's coming. Okay, Lord, I love you, you know." So I'm just ready. And but of course it was multiplied by like 10 because it was water mixing in with the blood, but I didn't think about that at 7. So she sees that I'm about to freak out. She goes, "Now don't freak out." And she's like, "You'll have a heart attack." So now at 7 years old, I'm trying not to freak out because there's blood coming out of my head and because I'll have a heart attack if I do. So we go downstairs, my sister calls my mom, and my friend, she asked my friend to go get the club that she hit me with, and I'm like, "Don't get the one you hit me with, please. Like, get a smaller one. We're going to get in trouble if you show her the driver." And so she goes out, and before she can come back in, my mom's there. And so she puts me in the car, and she has a washcloth to my head. She's like, "Where do you want to go? Do you want to go to the doctor, or do you want to go to your dad?" And my dad's a dentist, and I was like, well, 7, doctors are scary. I've never been to a doctor, really. So I was like, let's go to dad. So we go to my dad's dentist practice, and we walk in. I have a bloody washcloth to my head, and everybody in the waiting room was staring at me horrified. And I'm like, okay, yeah, I know I'm going to die, so it's okay. And then they bring me back in the back, and my dad lays me down, and he gives me 7 stitches, which I thought was awesome, because I was 7 and I got 7 stitches. And so then that night, my mom brought me home, and my friend came over, and she was crying more than I was, I swear. And I was like, "It's okay." And then we were still best friends. And the 2 things I learned is that you should never disobey your parents, because horrible things happen, like, let me tell you. And the second thing is, you can have a heart attack at 7 years old. And that's the end of my story.
All right.